2 days, I believe, before we were supposed to go. They canceled it and they didn't have anything else available. Hi, my name is Abahi and I am a claims adjuster. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me? But first, tales from the field.
Hard work, not another day's of work. Hard work, that's what they say. Hard work, I earn my pay. Hard work, I get off the rock, I move on down. Got to go make
things to avoid when getting ready for your first deployment. One thing I want to make note of is that a deployment doesn't, or just because you get called for standby, that doesn't necessarily mean deployment. Now, I want to start with the rosters, because if you're on the rosters, you're going to get called. If you're not on the rosters, you're not going to get called, or you're only going to get called by 1 or 2 companies who have a lot of people on their list, mainly being Pilot. Worley is a big company, and so is EA Renfro. Don't forget the smaller ones like the CNN, the Ebrils, the Best IRS, Crawford Company. They get requests for adjusters too. So be on their roster ahead of time, that you can get your paperwork in and that they can call you instead of going through your paperwork when they're preparing for a deployment. These are the smaller rosters that you should make sure that you join. Paysetters is one that was given to me by an adjuster who's been in the business for a while. That's where he got his start. He currently is a adjuster for Allstate, so that means he works for Pilot. Pilot handles multiple carriers. So do all of these IA firms. So please feel free in signing up for all of these rosters, okay? Next, make sure you upload all your documents in advance. This was a slip up for me too. I was not able to get all of my documents in place as they were supposed to be. There was a background check for the state of Georgia that I missed with one of the IA firms. So I didn't have that. That IA firm had my profile on hold, and you don't want to be on hold when there's a cat on alert. Get your certifications uploaded as well, and your licenses uploaded so that they know. I have South Carolina, but if all of them don't know that, then that's going to be a problem. Don't just count on knowing somebody or networking your way into it. You're still going to need these documentation uploaded, and hopefully they are current. Your passport, social security, you do need 2 forms. All right, now just gets to when I thought I was going on deployment. How I thought I was going to be working at orientation, but I ended up getting a call the 2 days, I believe, before we were supposed to go. They canceled it and they didn't have anything else available. I had friends who went through a different track, or I had people who I also went through training with, and they went a few days ahead of me, but they also had all their paperwork in and their documentations, and their profile wasn't on hold. Also too, you may have to take a drug test. That takes time to get back to your employer too. And then you also have to get that scheduled in. You may not be able to go the same day they give it to you. There's like an e-passport that they give you. Orientation also is not deployment. It's possible that you could go down to work. I heard a story about a guy, and this is just a hearsay. There was a gentleman who I heard drove from California and was driving to Alabama, and on his way he was called, because it's a 3-day drive, right? He got called, and the call said that the deployment had been canceled, so he still went ahead and went and did the orientation, so they paid him for that. Made about $900 in 3 days. I did also hear, and again this is hearsay, that there was a few people who were able to walk on. I personally couldn't afford to do that, but if you are able to, by all means, go ahead. Then I also went and got got my rope and harness certification. That certification is good with some of the IA firms, not good with all of them. So know which one you're doing. Are you doing HAG, SAS, or SPLAT? Again, I put that up there. Don't wait until you are on standby to upload documents. Just do them today. I mean, once they're uploaded, you're in the clear. These are the certifications that you should have. You want to get the State Farm Auto and Property certifications. These are given from time to time, administered through a broadcast given by all state employees. During the broadcast, you will go through an auto or property policy. You will also be tested on the information after the broadcast. I was fortunate to be able to join an emergency certification class for property here in Atlanta. If you're not able to do that, sign up for them as soon as you are able to. The auto class filled up fast. The first time I attempted to take it, pushed me back a month, if not 2, in being able to have that certification. I also did the rope and harness as I suggested in the other slide. I did that because it gives you an extra $5 an hour. I'm not sure if that's just on certain roofs if you're a field adjuster, or if that's also just every roof. I mean, you're going to talk about your pitches. How steep is it before I get that extra, or am I always getting that extra every time I get on the roof? Oh, and get your Xactimate level. Try to stay practicing with that. That will help save you in the long run with time, from what I hear, because I haven't been deployed yet. There's also a NFIP, a National Flood Insurance Program trainee certification that you can get, but you have to do it under a mentor program. You can go on the FEMA website to learn more about that. Advancements are available after you are on site. This is a good, maybe if not great, relief to many of us who are curious about how much money we need to get going. If you can get out to your deployment and on site, there's an advancement that you're able to do. I believe you may have to file 3 claims. You may not. At least if you have claims, they'll give it to you once you're on site. Again, I haven't been deployed yet at this point in time. This is information coming from other adjusters and the IA firms themselves. Actually, I believe Renfro, the instructor, he did tell us that you get about 2,000. Pilot does 1,000. Here's some advice that I got from other adjusters. Number 1, try to get your license ahead of time. Don't wait for the natural disaster to happen. Wait time for licenses or days to months. And then just work on getting the coastal state. What I did here, I highlighted, if you see these stars that just have the green and no red, that's a set of states that you should get. And what I did was I went with every other, because if you think about a hurricane is massive. So a hurricane that comes into the Gulf, headed between Texas and Louisiana right here. If you have your Texas license, that hurricane may also hit Louisiana, but it also has a chance of hitting Texas. Now let's say that hurricane doesn't hit Texas, but if it hits Louisiana, it's going to be hard for a hurricane to hit Louisiana and not also affect Mississippi and Alabama. My recommendation would not be to get all 3 of Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama. I just have Mississippi. I have Mississippi and Texas. I figure if a hurricane, Louisiana is also going to hit Mississippi, so I really don't miss out there. Worley, the company, is based in Louisiana. More people probably have licenses for Louisiana than they do Mississippi. I don't know that though. I could be wrong. Then I also have Florida, because a hurricane could hit Florida and not hit any other state. That's why the Florida has both green and red. If you have South Carolina, I don't know if you also need Georgia or if you will also need North Carolina. However, there could be a hurricane that hits just North Carolina, but there will be some type of residual damage in South Carolina and Virginia. Hurricane Matthew affected South Carolina as well, which means for you that you will be able to work no matter where a hurricane went, but you're strategically placing where you're going to pick your state. I didn't talk about the eastern states, New York, Pennsylvania. Be prepared to be cold. Have to take your gloves off to take pictures. keep that in mind. That's some other expert advice I didn't think of myself. For field adjusters, when you are ready to are on deployment, the advice I was given was set your appointment times, your inspections for 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and 12 p.m. These are the coolest parts of the day. And then if you have any other trouble with the rest of your, any other claims that you might have, you have time to get that situated throughout the day, since you're ending early. Also, I was told to pack 2 weeks of clothes, so you're not spending your whole life standing in front of a washing machine. This is good advice for me because I like to pack light. I probably would have packed like 3 days of clothes. But if you're a field adjuster, you're going to be in some real tight spaces. So get some knee pads, elbow pads, gloves, probably a hair net, something to cover up your face, a mask. There may be mold, mildew, spider webs. Get some safety glasses, tool belt. Then also, don't be shy to talk to the smaller IA firms. State Farm owns majority of the insurance business. Allstate is second. You have companies like Geico, MetLife. American Family is very popular too, and so is Farmers. American Family is probably the third largest adjuster that I reach into. State Farm, I have a lot of State Farm clients, a lot of Allstate. They're about neck and neck. They're neck and neck. Then I've seen a few American Family. I've seen one MetLife. I haven't seen any Geico or Progressive. I have seen the Hartford, and I have seen the Travelers. Those are smaller ones that you can look into applying to. So get on those rosters. Be cautious with your purchases. I found out from my friends who got deployed for Hurricane Florence that they got a lot of the supplies and tools that they needed. Ladders, rope and harness equipment, computers, cameras. They help you get ready. They help you get set up. The larger firms do. I don't know if the smaller ones do. Most IA firms provide you a list for the supplies you need to, so take a look at the list that they give you and just be cautious. Save your receipts. Hopefully you can return anything that you don't use. Get to the training and webinar register for training and webinars as fast as you can because they fill up fast. Pay the course fee. Most of them are not that big if they're anything at all. Some of them are larger, but if you need to take it, do it. And register as soon as you see that email. I missed one before. Like I told you, they fill up fast. Now I'm dealing with disappointment, kind of what I'm going through right now. Not being deployed as I thought I was going to be. I'm okay with that. Now I have more time to prepare. Or actually, no, I'm not okay with it. I mean, let's be honest. I thought I was going to be making money. However, I'm going to take this cloud and make it a rainbow. Make my lemons out of lemonade. No. Oops, make lemonade out of lemons. I'm dealing with disappointment. However, now I have more time to prepare. My Xactimate skills could be better. I have time to go back and review policies, insurance laws, which is really cool to be able to have this time. And now I know where I was lacking and I can prepare and get ready. Then I just have more time to network. I plan on attending some other types of meetings and continuing my work as a claims manager. I run into adjusters all the time, and networking with them is going to allow me to be able to grab a position quicker than if I didn't network. Okay, I think that's the last slide. Hi there, again, my name is Abahi. If I can help you make money in this very lucrative industry, would you let me?